Hello po ulit, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. So ang ating pong discussion ngayon ay lesson 11. So second to the last lesson po natin. At matatapos niyo na po ang forensic social work, no? E-social work E2. Pasensya na po kayo sa camera ko, malabo. No? So matatapos na po natin siya. This is our second to the last lesson, no? Report writing, no po, dito po sa forensic social work. So last lesson po natin is all about, sino po nakakaalala ng last lesson natin? Mabilis lang. Ma'am Job? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so diniscuss ni ma'am sa atin o ni-review niya sa atin yung sources of information, no? Sources of information. Thank you po, ma'am. Salamat po sa discussion ng sources of information. So, sabi po natin sa assessment, dalawa po siya, di ba? Isa po siyang, sabi po ni Maxi po rin, ano daw po ang assessment? Yan siya daw po ay isang process at, ano po? Process and, salamat po sa mga nakaalala. Process and output po siya, no? Ibig sabihin, pag binanggit natin yung word na assessment, dalawang bagay po ang pinag-uusapan natin dyan. Assessment as a process and assessment as an output. Yun po yung mga nakalagay sa case study, yung assessment statement part as an output. So dito po sa discussion ng forensic assessment, meron po itong tatlong chunk, no? Tatlong division. Yung data gathering in order as a process, no? We need to gather relevant data and we discussed the different sources of data. After we able to gather the enough and data which is relevant to the case, we will develop a problem statement or for other term, problem for work. Ano ba yung problem for work natin? Ano ba yung problem for work? Yan na po yung napagkasundo ang problema ng kliyente at ng social worker. So may iba't ibang typologies of problem po tayo, no? Meron tayong problem presented, working problem, underlying problem. Pero po dito sa problem for work, ito po yung napagkasundo ang susolusyonan ninyo, no, ng iyong kliyente. And after that is yung paggawa po ng ating assessment statement. Okay? So nagbigay po tayo according kay McMahon. Sino pong pwede magbigay ng review sa atin? According kay McMahon, ano daw po yung different parts, no, ng assessment statement? Sino pong pwedeng mag-recitation? Sige po. Sinong nakaalala? Sige, Sir McLean. Ano daw yung parts po ng assessment statement? Sige po. Salamat, sir. So, yan yung 3 parts ng pagsusulat mismo ng assessment statement as an output po ng assessment process. Okay? So, opening causal statement po, no? Yan po nakalagay na dyan. Why, who has the problem and why the problem exists. Doon sa change potential state, yan po yung opening causal statement. Causal po causal siya, sabihin yung cause ba? Causal statement. Ano po? Hindi po casual statement, no? Causal statement. And then change potential statement, yung strength and weaknesses po ng problem ng client at ng kanyang environment, at yung judgment about the seriousness. So kailan gaano ba ito ka-urgent, no? Gaano ba kaseryoso ang problemang ito at kailangan tugunan at kailangan tulungan. Ngayon naman po, tutungo na tayo sa another lesson natin. Ito po ang tinatawag nating report writing. Ano po? So basahin po natin ang nasusulat. Building on the foundational forensic assessment principles, no? This lesson transitions to the indispensable skill of report writing in forensic social work. So ngayon po, itong competency na ito enables us, social workers, to translate our social work findings into a clear, objective, and documents for the legal system. So ito na po yung panahon ng pagsulat, no? So actually, sabi pa nga ng mga iba, you will reduce it into writing. Maraming bagay na hindi kayang isulat ng mga nakita natin. Walang salitang makapagpapaliwanag, ano? Pero so that is a skill of a social worker on how to write this report. We will examine how this report serve as a critical bridge, informing judicial decisions and advocating for clients' well-being by navigating the demands and ethical distinction at the intersection of social work and law. Okay. So learning objectives po natin this night: analyze legal standards, ethical considerations, and essential components of various forensic social work reports to ensure accurate reflection of assessments. They will also articulate the roles and responsibilities of forensic social workers as expert witness. Value the critical importance of professional objectivity, integrity, and adherence to confidentiality throughout the forensic report process. Okay. Demonstrate the ability to construct a clear, concise, and well-organized forensic social work reports such as social case studies, progress reports, and feedback reports utilizing the standard formatting appropriate to professional language. Yan po. Okay. So, effective report writing. So, kung nakita po ninyo nakita nyo po yung overview ng lesson natin, galing tayo sa theories, galing tayo sa practical application on how to interview children, how to construct your assessments. Nandito naman na po tayo sa final, or I think second tips natin on how you will write your effective report. So lagi po tayo nagsusulat niyan, no? So the key focus will be on how to develop communication skills, not only oral but written, and ensure that expert testimony are clear, concise, objective, and impactful. Okay? So forensic reports serve in different purposes and tailored for specific audience. Iba-iba po yan, ano? And one of the main reports that forensic social work submit is the 3 klase na lang po yung nilagay ko dyan. Kasi yan po yung madalas na sinasubmit ng isang social worker or specifically ng isang clinical or forensic social worker. Yung paggawa po niya ng social case study report niya, feedback reports niya, and progress reports po niya, no? So yan po yung pag-uusapan po natin ngayong gabi. So it is important to note that the key elements of report mentioned in this letter may vary according to the specific function of agency. So yung makikita nyo pong mga elements dito ay pwede pong mag-iba-iba, depende po sa inyong agency, no? Hindi po ito fixed, no? Pwede po siyang mag-iba-iba. The requirements of the referring body, either the court, and the expertise and professional judgment of the social worker. So pwede po siyang mag-iba-iba, depende sa agency at sa kakayanan ng social worker. So what is stated here are the common and general elements of the report often contained. So nandito po sa pag-uusapan natin ay yung mga common or general elements na nilalaman ano po, ng mga reports na i-mention natin. Okay? Based on widely accepted practices, this is a widely accepted practices, and the author's current understanding. So, sa akin din po yan, bukod sa yan ay general understanding. No? Aiming to provide a foundational guide, no? Magiging serve po ng guide ninyo, rather than an exhaustive or universally mandated structure. So this is not a universally mandated structure, but it will serve you as a foundational guide as social workers. Nakakasunod po tayo, mga ma'am and sir? Are you following po? Nandyan pa kayo? Okay, sige po. Simulan po natin. So the major reports of a forensic social worker, as I mentioned, social case study report, progress report, feedback report. So sasagutin natin po yung tanong, ano ba ang nilalaman ng social case study report? Ano ba yung purpose niyan? No? Maraming mga pagkakataon po na kahit ibang profesyon gumagamit ng word na case study. No? Nilagyan natin ng social para maging social. Nilagyan natin ng social para yan po ay mapunta sa social worker, no? At ito po yung madalas at unique at laging lumalabas na required sa isang social worker. Para bang gumagawa ka ng isang maliit na research. Kasi nagagather ka ng data, ina-identify mo yung problem, at sasagot tapos magre-research ka, hahanap ka ng mga data, hahanap ka ng basihan, at sabi mo according sa basihan, gagawa ka ng iyong masasabi, no? Assessment mo, magko-conclusion ka at magre-recommend ka bandang huli. No? So, para po ang social worker, para tayong investigador, para tayong researcher na maliit, no? So every time that we conduct the study, our role is really somehow investigative, no? At somehow we are researchers by nature. Social workers are researchers by nature. Ano po? Okay. So, social case study reports are crucial tool, especially in Philippine courts proceeding, because this provide comprehensive information for the court to have an informed decision, particularly in the cases involving minors and also women. So, yung court magkakaroon siya ng background, no? So, this report offer an objective analysis of the holistic view of the client, such as the social, economic, psychological, and environmental factors. Ano po? Affecting the involved parties, detailing the aspects like living conditions, emotional well-being, and family dynamics. So yun yung pinoprovide po ng report natin na yan. Yung holistic view. Kasi si Judge, ano lang nakikita ni Judge? Ang nakikita ni Judge sino? Mga abogado, mga papel, no, na pinresenta sa kanya. So pag mayroon pa siyang gustong malaman, social worker, puntahan mo nga sa bahay. Alamin mo nga ano pang mga sirkumstansya nito. Tapos saka ka mag-recommend sa akin. Nakakasunod po kayo, mga ma'am and sir? Yun po yung role ng social worker sa korte. Ano ba nangyayari dito? Bakit ba nagkasuhan ng kosto dito? In layman's terms, social worker, tingnan mo nga. Ano ba ang kinalalagyan nito sa pamilya? Puntahan mo nga sa bahay. Tingnan mo nga ano bang itsura ng bahay nila parehas. Tanungin mo nga sila kung anong mga kapasidad nila financially. Tanungin mo nga sila anong masasabi ng mga kaibigan nila sa kanila. Nakakasunod po, no? So primarily used in child custody, adoption, guardianship, BAUSI, domestic violence, juvenile justice, at sa mas marami pang aspeto sa DSWD, no? Yung inyo pong mga beneficiaries, no? Supposed to be yan po ang magsasabi kung sila ba ay karapat dapat o hindi. Social case study report, no? May case management, no? AICS, no? Pero syempre pinag-uusapan natin forensic kaya diyan po ako nakafocus. So assessing the suitability of involved parties. So i-assess mo kung karapat dapat ba, no? Nararapat na aangkop, ano po? Prioritizing the child's best interest and welfare. Okay. Sige po. Sige. Okay. As per legal and social work practices, this written report prepared by court social workers document the all aspect social, cultural, economic, and legal status of the child, especially to the vital cases involving CICL. Specifically, within the context of CICL, the social case study report defined as a written report prepared by social worker that contains social, cultural, economic, and legal status of the child. So sabi yan ng Office of the Court Administrator na yan daw ang ibig sabihin ng social case study report. So role, social workers play fundamental role in preparation of the SCSR. So paano niya po yun ginagawa? Conducting thorough investigation, including interviews. So yan ang expected ng korte sa atin. The conduct of interviews, the conduct of home visits, and a record reviews. No, yan po, according to the Office of the Court Administrator 2019. As a neutral observers, the social workers provide unbiased assessments and recommendation based on their expertise in child development. Yan ang inaasahan sa atin ng court. Child development, alam mo yung development ng bata, no? Family dynamics, at saka social welfare. Their professional insights help the court better understand the child circumstances, no? Maiintindihan ng korte yung circumstansya ng bata and ensure that judicial decisions are well-informed and evidence-based. In cases handled by family courts, in accordance to Supreme Court rules on custody and guardianship, social workers vital information to help to determine the best interest of the child. So, yan po role ng social worker. So, admissibility and weight. Ano ba yung bigat? No? Ano ba yung bigat nito sa kaso? Admissible ba to? No? Social workers being considered as expert in the field provide valuable insight. No? Nakakapagbigay tayo ng insight into child, social, economic, and psychological well-being. While the courts give considerable weight to the findings and recommendation of the CSR, it is not bound to adopt them verbatim. Hindi sila parang nakakulong na dapat nilang i-adapt agad yon. Nakasunod po tayo, mga ma'am and sir. Although makakapag-provide tayo ng considerable weight on our findings and recommendations, the court is not bound to follow us. Diba? Ang laki ng responsibilidad pero nasa kanila ang final say pa rin. No? The Philippine jurisprudence emphasizes that the court must consider all evidence presented, ensuring due process and prioritizing child's welfare. Our judges, especially the family court judges, are mandated to exercise their independent judgment, taking into the account all relevant factors and testimonies to arrive a just and equitable decision. Yan. Ano po? The court's primary consideration is always best interest of the child as enshrined in the Philippine law in Presidential Decree 603 as amended. No? So they are not actually bound to follow it, but we will give an insight for them. So the confidentiality, due to the sensitive nature of the information contained in our CSR, access to these documents is typically restricted to court and authorized personnel only. So restricted lang po yan sa kanila. The court must take necessary steps to protect the privacy of child and family, ensuring that confidential details are not disclosed to unauthorized individuals. Particularly crucial in the handled by family courts and in the cases of CICL, where confidentiality is paramount to protect the welfare of the child. So confidentiality safeguards help prevent undue harm and maintain the integrity of the legal process. Okay, so now we will now proceed on the key elements of the social case study report. So once again, a social case study report is a detailed and in-depth analysis of individual and family situation with a comprehensive understanding of circumstances, needs, and strength according to Hepworth et al. 2017. So A comprehensive social case study report requires attention to detail, bringing with clearer preliminary and identifying information established in this context. Okay. Sige, simulan na po natin. Ano po yung laman niyan, ano? Number one, the first content of our social case study report is the preliminary information. So the report should begin with precise agency setting. So usually po sa Pilipinas, in order for us to create social case study report, we are under the agency. The Philippines is yet to explore the private practice, no? Wait lang po ah. So is yet to explore the private practice, no? So kailangan laging magsisimula ang report natin in your precise agency setting. For government setting within the Republic of the Philippines, usually we will start sa taas, Republic of the Philippines, no? And this letterhead will display your official agency name, the address of your agency, the contact information, and reinforcing the report's official status kung saan po kay agency. For NGOs, no? Letterhead should include the legal name of the organization. Walang Republic of the Philippines yan. The SEC number, the Security and Exchange Commission number, the DSWD accreditation or license number, the agency address, and the contact details. So usually yan po ang content ng letterhead, no? Tinatawag nating letterhead. This comprehensive letterhead established the legitimacy and authority of the report. So following of the letterhead is the word social case study report. If the case involved court proceeding, dapat nandiyan yung case name, case number niya, no, name of the plaintiff or the defendant, no, yung nagkaso at yung case number at yung docket number. So nilalagay po yan dyan. So ito po yung isang halimbawa ng ako kay social case study report ko po yan. So yan po ang halimbawa. So ako po bilang court social worker, ginagamit ko po yung Republic of the Philippines, Regional Trial Court, 3rd Judicial Region, Branch 59, Angeles City. So yung title po ng case, no? Appointment of the legal guardian of the minor blank. So nandyan po yung petitioner, no? Blank, represented by attorney Infant Blank, the petitioner, special proceedings case number, yung case number, at yung social case study report. So date started, nilalagay ko po sa taas kung kailan po ako nagsimula, at sa dulo po, before my signature, ay kailan po ako natapos. Nandiyan pa po ba kayo? So nasa preliminary information pa lang tayo, no? Sa first report po natin, ano? Usually yan po ang content. So kung DSWD po kayo, may prepared format po yung DSWD, yung may logo, yung may bagong Pilipinas, yung colored. So yun po yung sinusunod. Ba't natawa ka, Kuya Mac? Okay. Next is identifying information. So alam niyo naman po ito, no? You will obtain the comprehensive profile of the individual. Full legal name, aliases, and different identities. The date, the place of birth, to verify the identity and establishing age, the address, contact information. Ganyan talaga po ang ano. Susunod, ano na yan? Ang pagbabalik ng Pilipinas, hindi na bago. Ewan ko ba anong mangyayari na dyan. Bahala sila dyan, basta tayo, sumisweldo tayo dito. Okay. Sige. So, ayan na po, no? Educational attainment, occupation. Anyway, this is for educational purposes only, no? Wala naman po tayong ano dito, no? This is educational freedom, academic freedom. So, susunod, magpapalit na sila niyan. Yun na nga, mga ano na yan. Tamang Pilipinas na, hindi na bagong Pilipinas. Okay. Educational attainment, occupation, alam nyo naman po yan, no? Individual's background, social standing, no? Nilalagay din po yung primary, hindi na po, province of China na tayo, Shanghai na tayo. Lumpiang Shanghai. Kaya Pansit Canton. O kaya siomai na tayo, siomai. Finally, documenting the primary language spoken to ensure effective communication throughout the process. Okay, so very basic. Next is the family composition. Ano po? So, Usually tinatanong natin simula sa family, simula yan sa tatay hanggang sa mga anak, ano? Hanggang sa mga apo at iba pang kasama at lolo't lola. So it will, sometimes we create genogram to visually represent the familial relationship. Sa case ko po ng guardianship, ginamit ko po yung genogram kasi nakita ko po ang complicated ng case nila. So, nag-attach ako ng genogram sa likod para makita ng court yung relationship nila sa isa't isa. No? This includes the full name, age, a relationship, no? And so on and so forth, marital status, occupation, income, educational attainment, no? Nilalagay din po yan. Pero ako naglalagay ako sa dulo ng remarks kasi in case na gusto kong ilagay agad at makita agad ng court kung saan nakatira, namatay na ba, no? Or currently abroad, something like that. Naglalagay ako ng remarks agad para makita agad siya sa family composition na nasaan na yung family member na ito. It is usually presented in formatted tables. So usually sa table po yan nilalagay. Next po is yung tinatawag nating problem presented. So ito po halos ang pinag-aaway-awayan ng mga social worker kahit ng mga academician. Ano ba talaga ang ilalagay sa problem presented? Di ba? Hindi po ba kayo nagtataka? Mayroong problem presented, isang paragraph. No? May nagsabi, problem presented, isang sentence, dalawang sentence lang. No? Ano ba talaga ang laman ng problem presented? No? Kung ako po tatanungin ninyo, at kung aware po kayo sa typology of problem, may different kinds of problem, correct? Tama po ba? Kung ako po tatanungin nyo may different kinds of problem. May presented problem, working problem, underlying problem. At meron ding problem for work. So ano pong tinatanong dito sa ibabaw ng case study? Ang tinatanong po, problem presented, di ba? So kung anong sinabing problema ng kliyente, kung anong sinabi niya sa yung problema niya. Nakakasunod po kayo? It should be short and concise only. Minsan may nakakabasa akong case study kahit mga ilang social worker na isang paragraph, 5 sentence, problem presented. Para nag-assess na rin siya sa problem presented niya. Sinabi na rin niya yung solusyon sa problema. Problem presented ka pa lang. 'Di ba? Doon ka lang muna sa simulain. Paano niya pinakita sa iyo kung anong naging problema ng client o kaya nung tinanong mo siya, ano pong atin? Ano pong mapaglilingkod ko sa inyo? Sir, kasi naghiwalay kami ng asawa ko. Yung anak ko, nasa kanya. Gusto ko sanang kunin. Yun ang problem presented. Huwag mo nang lalagay yung sarili mong perspective doon sa problem presented. Kung ano lang pinakita niya. Kasi yung iba ko nababasa, nakakatuwa, pero syempre hindi mo naman makomentan dahil kulig mo na yan. Hindi mo naman masita dahil kulig yan eh. Syempre meron siyang professional judgment. Dapat umaattend lang sila ng mga refresher course or training course ng pagsusulat ng case study. Ang haba! Parang pati yung solusyon niya nilagay niya na rin doon. Pati intervention niya nilagay niya na rin. So problem presented po. Sabi diyan, this section should describe the issue as the client see it. Tapos, using their own words whenever possible to maintain authenticity and accuracy in concise manner of writing. Pinakamaikli, 2 sentence, mahaba na yung 3. Kung paano niya lang sinabi, tapos, total nagsisimula ka pa lang ng case study mo dong. Hindi ka pa tapos, mag-a-assess ka pa, mag-re-recommend ka pa. Presented lang muna, wag kang G. Nung sa center kasi, talagang, kumbaga sineseryoso namin yung mga ganyang bagay. Kasi ko na rin, yung client, no, nasa center pa po ako. Bakit po kayo nandito? Ano po nangyari? No? Kasi po, dinala ako dito kasi nahuli ako ng pulis eh. Nahuli po ako ng pulis, may dala-dala daw akong drugs. Pero wala naman po akong dala nun. Oo, di ba? Anong problem presented ng client? Englishin nyo na lang yun. Kayo na mag-English. Pero ibig sabihin, yun yung problem presented kung paano niya sinabi anong problema niya. Pag tinanong ko yung client sa custody, ano pong atin ma'am? Ba't po kayo narito? No? So kasi sir, nag-file kasi ako ng case dahil gusto kong makita yung anak ko dahil 2 buwan nang hindi pinapakita sa akin. Hindi siya nag-agree, hindi na siya sumutupad doon sa una naming usapan. Tapos, yun ang problem presented. The client filed a petition for child custody because he is not seeing his child for 2 months now because his previous wife is not showing it to him, showing it to him, and and allegedly, according to him, he is not complying to the previous agreements that they made. Period. Yan ang problem presented, mga kapatid. Nakakasunod po kayo, no? Sana naririnig to ng mga kasamahan kong social worker sa center at sa DSWD, ano? Kasi minsan ang hirap nilang sawayin pag nakikita kong ganyan. Tinatawanan ko na lang sila sa isip ko. 'Di ba? Joke lang. Pero iyan talaga yung problem presented, no? For child clients, particularly important to consider their developmental stage kung hindi pa nila kayang sabihin yan, no? Ability to articulate their concerns. The language is used to be age appropriate and reflect the understanding of the children. Ano po? So, pwedeng manggaling sa nanay yan pag ganyan. Okay. So, next po is the sources of information. Marami na pong hindi naglalagay nito na social worker, pero still ako po nilalagay ko pa rin yung sources of information after ng problem presented ko. Nilalagyan ko dyan. Mine-mention ko kung saan ko galing yung information. Sa ibang mga social worker na kasama ko po sa court, yung iba nilalagay pa nila kailan talaga yung date of interview nila for transparency and credibility. Ano po? So nilalagay nila dyan kung direct client interview talaga yan. Nilalagay nila kung collateral interview, nino, kung saan at kailan. Pwedeng family member, nilalagay talaga nila yung name. Pwedeng sasabihin nila is available records, school medical records, psychological report of blank, medical records of blank, social service record of blank. Lalagay natin dyan sa dulo, social worker's own observation. So usually, ako po nilalagay ko pa rin yan lahat ng mga sources of information kong dokumento. Isa-summarize ko dyan sa sources of information para ako ay transparent sa court na ito po ang aking mga basis. Okay? Yung ibang social worker na medyo tinatamad na at maraming caseload, tinatanggal na yung sources of information. Importante pag nag-inspection may case study. Di ba, no? Nakarelate po ba kayo doon? Walang nag-agree. Ako lang naka-experience nun. Okay. Pero ang katotohanan yan, sa daming trabaho, biro mo 800 ang bene mo, gagawan mo pa ba ng isa-isahin mo pa ba yung sources of information na yan? Di ba, no? I-copy-paste mo, palitan mo ng pangalan, pirmahan mo sa baba, tapos. Di ba, no? Di ba, no, Ma'am Kata, no? Okay, next po natin, circumstances of referral. This section details circumstances of the child, circumstances that leads client referral to you, to social worker. Yung iba pong case study, tinatanggal na rin yan. Kasi nga, circumstances, pare-parehas lang naman yan. Ako po nilalagay ko pa yan, no? So, paano nakarating sa'yo yung assessment, no? Pwedeng yan ay individual agency, ni-refer sa'yo, recording the precise date of the referral that was made, clearly stating the specific reason for referral, concerns and allegation that prompted the assessment, outline the specific request of the court, citing any applicable legal mandates or court orders. Basta i-describe mo paano yon nakarating sa'yo. Describing the initial contact with the client or their family, including the date and method of contact. Sa amin sa court, importante ito. Paano nakarating sa'yo yung case na yan? No? Sa amin, importante yan. Pero ilang cases sa DSWD, syempre hindi na. Pero yung cases involving court legal setting, importante at mahalaga na nakikita yan. Okay. Sample po, ito, no? So, ito sa akin, ano? Sabi ko po yan, ano? This case was referred and raffled to the undersigned court social welfare officer on February 3, 2005 in compliance with the order dated January 17, 2025. Issued by Honorable April Joy B. Magsayo Aguila, Presiding Judge of Regional Trial Court, Branch 661, Family Court, Angeles City. So, yan yung nag-issue to conduct case study on the minor and the petitioner and submit a report and recommendation to the court for its guidance. Yan. So, nilalagyan ko ng ganyan. Diba? Nandyan pa po ba kayo? Sige. Okay pa kayo dyan, mga kasama? So, nilalagyan ko po niyan para lang matrace Bakit napunta sa akin yung case? Yan. Importante kasi sa amin, by court order po kasi kami dyan. Next na nilalagay ko po is circumstances of the case. Anong nangyari doon sa particular case o particular issue nila? No? Kung yan po ay CICL, ano ang account ng police report nung nahuli yung bata hanggang madala sa center? Ano yung account ng bata? So ako pag nag-case study ako sa CICL, dalawang accounts yan. Accounts ng police report at accounts ng bata. Kasi minsan yung bata iba ang kanyang kwento, 'di ba? Primary information siya. Pero iba rin yung sabi sa report. So iniiba ko po 'yan. Parehas yan magkaiba. So this account is the detail of the sequence of events. So bakit sila na-involve sa case na ito, no? Pero usually po pwede na po itong alisin, no? Depende sa case, lalo na basta may mga case like CICL, domestic violence, victims of human trafficking, nilalagyan po nitong circumstances of the case nung pagkahuli nila, no? Pero po pag ibang cases like custody at guardianship, inaalis na po yung circumstances of the case, no? In the cases where abuse and neglect are suspected, the crucial document is available it is crucial to document the available information thoroughly. Observable facts, reported details, no? So marami po diyan po yan nilalagay sa circumstances of the case, no? Okay, pero pwede rin po yan actually sa custody. Paano nag-trigger sa kanila na mag-file sila ng custody case? Okay? Para magkaroon lang po ng background or circumstances doon sa case agad, no? And then after dyan, ay ang tinatawag po na background information. So para bang pinakita mo yung basic information, yung facts, yung problem, yung family, no? Yung family, yung problem, yung circumstances sa case. Ngayon lalalim ka na dun sa client, no? The background information section established the essential context of the assessment, detailing the client's individual family history, family dynamics, and community environment. This holistic overview provides foundation of understanding with the client's current situation, informing subsequent recommendation. So after mo makita yung surface ng problem, makita mo yung circumstances, lalalim ka na. Ano ba yung background ng kliyente mo? So magsisimula ka ng taga saan siya pinanganak, ano yung mga childhood, anyway, mamaya pala yan. So ako po, sa background information, dinidivide ko siya sa tatlo. No? Ang atin pong konsepto dito ay social work in environment pa rin. Ecological systems theory pa rin, ano? The client, the family, and his community. Nakakasunod po kayo? No? So, yung perspective po, palaki pa rin ang palaki. No, maraming social worker na hindi gumagawa nito. Ako po, naniniwala ako. Pag nag-background information, minsan ang bugahan lang, ano? Parang pag ikaw naabutan sa mall, isang bugahan lang. So, gumawa ng background information, isahan lang siya. Pero, ang pinakamaganda po talaga rito, naka-anchor sa theoretical framework ng ecological systems theory. Magsisimula ka sa client, micro, family, meso, tapos macro, yung community scale niya. Para makita mo talaga at ma-apply mo talaga yung konsepto ng PI, no? Person and environment, no? At syempre, dun sa circumstances of the case, peace naman yun. Peace, hindi po yun yung kapayapaan, no? Na gustong mangyari ng presidente natin ngayon after election. Hindi yan yung peace, no? Ibig sabihin ng peace, PIS, ay person in situation. Okay? Person in situation. Sige po. So, punta po tayo sa about the client. So, alam nyo naman dyan, nandyan lahat yan. Client history, ano po yung mga key domains na kailangan nating ipakita dyan. Client's childhood development. Significant milestones and potential development challenges. Hindi naman ikukwento mo pa dyan simula 1 year old siya hanggang mag 12 years old siya. 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years, hindi na. No? Significant milestones lang. Ano lang yung mga naaalala niya ng pagkabata? Paano siya pinalaki? Ilan sila magkakapatid? Paano niya napaperceive yung family niya? Yung discipline nila sa bahay? Paano siya dinidisiplina? And so on and so forth. So secondly, yung educational background niya. Ano yung mga academic achievement niya at educational experience niya. Third po, yung social relationship. No? Sino yung mga naging kaibigan niya, ano yung mga naka-impluensya sa kanya, para makita po natin yung kanyang interpersonal dynamic at support system. Tapos po, kung meron pa yung mga legal involvement niya, no? Para meron po tayong interaction, meron tayong idea sa mga prior interactions niya sa legal system. So nilalagay din po dyan yung physical, mental health, no? Kung meron man po, mga diagnosed condition, mga medical information, at siya po ay kung siya ay gumamit ng substance abuse, no? At mga patterns po ng patterns and potential impacts of the client's life, no? So this assessment also addresses the client coping behaviors and patterns, how they manage stress and navigate challenges. So makakwento siya ng mga challenges, tatanungin niyo siya paano niya nalagpasan yon, and so on and so forth. So finally, this section culminates the description of the client's current level of functioning, providing a snapshot to the present circumstances and overall well-being. No? So para makakita tayo hanggang makarating tayo sa current situation nila. Okay. So punta po tayo sa family. So alamin naman natin dyan yung dynamics. Ano po yung mga areas na gusto natin namang malaman sa family dynamic? First, the family history and origin. Saan sila galing? Ano yung mga cultural background nila? Anong generational influence nila? No? Saan sila nag-migrate? Saan galing yung both parents? Taga dito pa? Saan sila lumaki? Saan sila lumipat? Paano yung relationship and communication patterns within the family? No? Mga interaction, mga potential area of conflict, sino yung mga ka-close niyang na kapatid, no? Para makita po natin yung support system, internal and external, no? So, anong coping mechanism ng family, how they manage stress and adversity, the family attitude towards the presented problem or incident, no? Para makita natin how the family perceive this, and explore family, reveal the perspective of the family and the impact to the client. So, of course, it addresses the family socio-economic status, ano yung mga kalagayan sa loob ng pamilya, para magkaroon tayo ng context sa support and potential stressors ng client. Next po, in our macro scale, in our background information, is the community. No? So, nilalagay po yan para makita natin ano neighborhood, saan siya nakatira. Nakatira ba yan sa subdivision, sa depressed area, sa maraming mga light materials na bahay, nakatira ba yan sa ilalim ng tulay, nagre-renta ba yan, diba? So para makita natin yung available resources and overall climate niya, no? Tapos tinitingnan din natin, yun bang community niya, yung bahay niya malapit sa ospital, malapit sa school, no? Malapit sa available social services, no? Ano bang mga available organization and even religious institution dyan, no? Ano ba yung widely accepted na norm and values ng lugar na yan? Kasi pwedeng maka-impluwensya yan dyan, no? So, paano ma-expose yung bata sa violence, sa trauma, sa crime? Sa Tondo ba yan? Saan part ng Tondo? Anong barangay ng Tondo? So, yung mga ganitong bagay, no? Kasi po para malaman natin yan. Mayroon bang trabaho dyan, no? Nakakapag-provide ba yan ng economic stability? Anong mga social inequalities dyan sa lugar na yan? Nakakasunod po kayo, mga ma'am and sir? Nandiyan po ba kayo? So ako po, basically, dahil ako gumawa ng lesson, ganyan po ako mag-craft ng case study. No? Naka-divide at naka-organize talaga siya. At I will ensure na lagi siyang may theoretical background kung bakit ko siya ginawang ganyan. Ano? Kasi I cannot help to do like that. Kasi I'm a clinical practitioner. At the same time, I'm academician. So I'm trying to bridge the theory and practice. So the theory of PI and the theory of ecological system, paano yun i-apply sa practice? So personally, ako ganyan ako gumawa. That's how I understand and that's how I apply it in my practice, di ba? Nakakasunod po kayo. So that's how I make it. Kaya kong paliwanag yan ang PI concept yan. Kaya ganyan yan, di ba? Kaya kong paliwanag na ecological systems yan. Kaya naka-divide yan sa tatlo. Pero maraming mga kasama po akong social worker na hindi na isahan ng background information yan. Tapos ako po, ginagawa ko, per client pa yan. Ha? Kung petitioner yan, para sa petitioner lang yan. Meron akong another section para sa respondent naman. Tapos pag ang bata ay medyo iba yung circumstances niya, may separate pa ako para sa bata. No? At minsan, pag naglalabo-labo na yung case study na yan, pinaghihiwa-hiwalay ko na sila ng case study. Tapos iniisa ko ng assessment, naka-separate yung kanilang assessment. Okay, sige po. So next po is the additional sections. So, ito po yung standard, no? Na laman, no? Hanggang dito halfway, no? But sometimes social workers add additional sections to enhance their report and to tailor to the specific needs of the case, no? So, this practice is particularly prevalent to us court social workers, that because we do not have the actual mandated format of our case study, we have the liberty to incorporate the sections kung ano yung sa palagay namin kailangan. No, halimbawa po, in kahit child custody, naglalagay kami ng motivation. And motivation for child custody, motivation for guardianship. So specifically, nilalagyan namin ng section base dun sa pangangailangan ng kaso. Nakakasunod po kayo? Para makita ng court, okay, ito ba yung pala kanilang motivation. So special section for their motivation, no? Special section for the child care plan. Anong mga plano nila sa bata kung napunta sa kanila yung bata? Si petitioner, ito plano niya. Si respondent, ito plano niya. So nakaseparate siya na section. Nakakasunod po kayo? Imbis na ilalagay ko siya sa background information, wala siyang fitting doon, sineseparate ko siya na section na this is the motivation of the client. This is the motivation of the respondent. This is the motivation of the petitioner. Okay po? For cases involving CICL, nilalagay nila yung assessment of discernment kasi kailangan po yan. No? So minsan nilalagay po ito, no? Serves and highlight to important information that might otherwise be dispersed throughout the report, it ensuring that the critical aspects directly relevant to the case, custody battle, guardianship petition, or CICL are clearly and effectively communicated. So nasa social worker po yun. So may halimbawa ako dito, no? Yung recent case ko po, yung kanina, siya rin yung problem presented. Nilagay ko po itong motivation for guardianship. Nandyan pa po ba kayo? Okay, so ito po nilalagay ko, separate section siya. No? Maikli lang, one sentence lang kasi brief lang and concise lang kung naman ako gumawa ng report. This case involves stock shares that belong to blank, father blank. No? As disclosed by blank, the shares were divided among his sons and grandsons when his father passed away in 2020. Following the Chinese tradition, blank is one of the beneficiaries. Yung bata, no po? Blank is asking to be the guardian, so he can manage these shares until blank is old enough to manage them himself. Blank explained, since blank is his only son, these shares and his share will eventually belong to him anyway, as the only male child in the family. Oh, ayan. So pinakita ko na interested siya kasi napamanahan yung anak niya, no? At sabi niya, sa kanya din naman lahat ito. Siya lang naman ang kaisa-isa kong anak na lalaki. So siya din naman na magmamana to. So bakit niya po gustong i-guardian, sabi ko. Para lang ma-manage ko mabuti, tapos bibigay ko sa kanya pag malaki na siya. Anyway, sa kanya na naman dito lahat eh. Ilang beses niyang sinabi yun. Yung kliyente ko na yun. Sa kanya naman talaga to. Wala akong bandang huli, sa kanya din naman. So nilagay ko yun. No? Sabi niya, Blank explained that since Blank is his only son, this share and his share will eventually belong to him anyway, as he is the only male child in the family. O, edi nalagay ko siya. At least alam ng court kung ano yung naging output ng interview ko. Nakakasunod po kayo? No? Nandyan po kayo? Okay. So, pumunta na po tayo dun sa tinalakay natin last time. Si assessment na tayo pupunta. No? Building on the foundation of PIE concept, assessment section of a forensic social work report detailed the analysis of the client current state and potential change utilizing McMahon's framework on structured assessment. No? So ito na yung masasabi mo. Ito na yung pinaka-comment mo. Anong masasabi mo sa background information nila? Anong masasabi mo sa current case nila? Anong masasabi mo sa current problem nila? Dito mo na ngayon mailalagay lahat. Pero syempre, para hindi yan chapsuy, no? Hindi mo kang chapsuy yan at naghalo-halo na lang sila dyan at nag-comment ka na lang talaga ng nag-comment. So para hindi maging chapsuy, maganda may framework yan. So, ang framework na ginamit dyan, si framework ni McMahon. Ayun lang naman ay nire-recommend ko sa inyo. Ano? So, pwedeng yan ay evaluation of psychosocial functioning. So, pwedeng client emotional well-being, interpersonal relationship, and so on and so forth. No? So, magsisimula yan sa opening causal statement. Who is the problem and why is the problem is existing. Hindi ko na masyado di-discuss yan. Next is the change potential statement. No? Nahati yan, problem, client, and environment. Okay? So ito po, isang halimbawa ng aking at pagkatapos po niyan, yung tinatawag po nating urgency, the judgment on the urgency and seriousness of the problem. Yan, okay? Kung lalong-lalo na po sa mga life-threatening situation. Ngayon, papapakitaan ko kayo nung sample nung kaninang case. No? Hindi ko na pinakita yung background information niya. Mahaba, tsaka baka makilala nyo. No? Baka makilala nyo, ay, si ano yan? No, di ba? Hindi ko na nilagay. So, huwag niyo na pong alam. Huwag na kayong chumismis dyan. So, ano na lang, yung ano na lang, problem presented, yung ano na lang nila. So, ito po yung assessment ko dyan, no? Okay. Blank petition to be the guardian of the stock shares allotted to his son Blank presents a practical solution for managing these assets until Blank reaches adulthood. Oh, yan ang aking opening causal statement, di ba? Ako minsan natutuwa ako kasi I am really, for me lang naman na anong tawag nito? Natutuwa ako, no? I feel blessed with that kasi I also teach, and pag nagkaroon ako ng case, na-apply ko mismo yung tinuturo ko at natutuwa ako kasi hindi na lang siya base sa kung ano lang yung magagawa ko, no? At least I ensure na sa isip ko, nasa-satisfy ako dahil nakikita ko paano ko nagagamit yung mismong sinasabi ko po sa inyo at na-apply ko sa totoong kaso talaga. Nakakasunod po kayo? Kaya yung akin pong itinuturo sa inyo, ginagamit ko po talaga yan. No? Na ginagagamit ko po talaga yan. At yan po talaga ay ginagawa ko. Hindi ko lang po yan tinuturo. Kaya natutuwa ako pag ganito kasi, ayan, actual cases talaga na ginagamit ko siya at effective siya. Nung nabasa ng court yan, pinagte-testify ako last time. Hinirequest ako ng abogadong mag-testify. Ang sabi ng court, sabi sa akin ng court, there's no need for him to testify. His report is already enough. O siya pa mismo ang nagsabi na wag na mag-testify yan. Si Olingay, madaldal lang yan. Hindi naman. Wag na mag-testify social worker dahil okay na yung report niya. Sinabi niya na lahat. O, hindi na ako nag-testify. Hindi na ako na-pressure doon. O, di ba? So, para sa akin, it satisfies myself na nakapagbigay ako ng maganda for me, quality work ko. Di ba? At alam kong meron akong basis. Okay, sige. Tama na yan. So, yan po yung aking opening causal statement. Given Blank extensive experience in family, wala po kaming appearance fee. Sayang nga, Ma'am Margie, kung pwede lang sana akong maningil ng appearance fee. Government employee na rin ako kasi, ma'am, hindi naman na pwede tayong maningil, alam mo yun. Pero sabi ko nga, yung ibang nag-a-appear sa court, nagte-testify, may bayad. But kami, wala kaming bayad. De, joke lang. No. So meron na naman yan, wala po talagang bayad. Pero honestly speaking, yung may mga kliyente na nagbibigay talaga sila. Kung testify ka, magbibigay sila ng something, no? Bibigay sila ng pagkain. Minsan na po ako nabigyan ng Jayco Donuts. No, nahiya ako. Sabi ko, ay sir, ma'am, nakakahiya naman. Wag naman po yung bibigay. Hindi sir, sige sa inyo po yan. Ay ma'am, sige, nakakahiya naman. Hindi sir, totoo. Ma'am, hanggang 3 beses lang ako. Pag 3 beses mo na akong pinilit, kukunin ko na yan. Sabi ko. Okay. So, kinuha ko na lang. Kinain namin sa opisina, di ba? Okay, sige, basa po tayo. Tama na yung mga kwento na yan. Given Blank's extensive experience in family's successful business, he appears well equipped to make a sound financial decision on Blank's behalf. Okay, yan. Granting him guardianship offers reasonable way to protect and grow these investments for Blank's future. Furthermore, the petitioner has provided character references from Blank, Blank, and Blank, all residents of Barangay Kutkut, Angeles City. This reference attests to Blank's character and suitability for his role. However, di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, all words before, however, and but is, ano sabi ko last time? Ay, sa isa klase nyo ko ba yan sinabi yun? Hindi ko sinabi sa inyo. All words before, but, or how, Hindi sa inyo? all words before, but, or however is bullshit. Yan, lahat yan, mga ano lang yan. Wala yan. Di ba? Ang galing-galing yung sinabi. No? He appears well equipped to make sound financial decisions on their behalf. However, di ba? However, while acknowledging blank business expertise and commitment to his family, it is crucial to ensure transparency and accountability in the management of these funds. Di ba? So kahit marunong siya at sanay siyang businessman, kailangan transparent siya at accountable siya sa mga management ng pera na yan. Therefore, it is recommended the creation of a detailed financial plan. This plan clearly outlines how the stock shares will be invested, managed, and ultimately used for Blank's benefit. Di ba? Specifically, it should address provision for his education, healthcare, and overall well-being, ensuring that these funds contribute to his long-term development. Nakakasunod mo kayo? Furthermore, while recognizing the positive influence of family tradition and potential benefits of learning about business, it is vital to balance this with a focus on Blank's individual needs, interests, and aspirations. So, iniisip ko lang dyan, ang gusto kong sabihin dyan sa furthermore na yan. Bakit mga lalaki lang yung mga pinapamanahan? Paano naman yung mga babaeng anak? Diba? Na syempre deserve din naman nila na makakuha ng mana ng kanilang magulang. Kaya sabi ko diyan, okay naman na respeto yung family tradition, pero sana balance yan base sa aspirations, needs, and interest nila. So hindi ko na lang masabi, syempre babanggain mo yung kultura diyan. So hindi ko lang masabi na explicitly na dapat pantay-pantay ang mga shares. So hindi mo naman masasabi yan. Kailangan mahanapan mo ng paraan yan na politically correct, no? So I think yan yung pinaka-best, no? While positive influence of the family tradition, di ba? Pero dapat titignan, ifo-focus yung mga individual needs, no? At saka interest, at saka aspirations ng bawat isa sa kanila. Balanse, hindi lang puro yung tradition. As Blank grows, his own voice and preference should be increasingly considered in the decision regarding his future. Okay. And the last part of the case study is the recommendation. The recommendation section of forensic report translates the assessment findings, no, into actionable steps, outlining a plan for intervention and anticipated outcomes. So ano yung nire-recommend mo sa court? Nagawin ng court. So ito yung difference ng ilang mga case study sa center. After mo mag-assess, usually gagawa ka ng intervention plan. May mga pagkakataon na gumagawa rin kami ng intervention plan. Pero madalas po wala. Kasi talagang recommendatory lang naman kami kung ano ang aming findings, no? Anyway, this section begins with the detailed interventions designed to address the client's identified needs and goals. These interventions are carefully selected, often evidence-based practice to involve relevant resources, no? At marami pong bagay yan. Pwedeng counseling, therapy, participation in supports group, skills training, parenting classes, substance treatment, and so on and so forth. Tapos po, ito yung parts na lagi nating na-encounter, yung prognosis part, no, ng recommendation. Ito na talaga yung professional opinion ng client for positive change. This prognosis is informed by thorough consideration of all factors. So with all of the recommendation, the social worker recommends that. Ang tawag po sa part na yun ay prognosis. Alam nyo na. Yan yung prognosis part. Okay. Halimbawa po ng prognosis, yan. So yan din po yung aking prognosis dun. Okay? Based on the foregoing information and assessment, it is recommended to the Honorable Court to grant guardianship of the stock shares bestowed to the subject minor child blank to his father blank, the petitioner of the case, for the best interest and paramount welfare of the child. Favorite kong mag-end dyan sa dulo ng recommendation ko. Yung for the best interest and welfare of the child. Halos lahat ng recommendation ko, yan ang dulo lagi. Diyan ko po lagi ini-end yan. Kasi yan naman talaga ang pinaka overarching principle, di ba? You recommend for what? What is your basis of your recommendation? The best interest and welfare of the child. So, ako lang naman, hindi ko alam sa mga kasama ko, pero sana ganun din sila. Ewan ko. Um, 4 na taon po na ako dito sa court. Hindi na ako nakakabasa ng case study ng iba simula nung nawala na ako sa center. So ako po, lagi kong ini-end yan. No? Kasi yan yung para sa akin, yan yung pinaka-basis. No? Overarching foundation ng iyong case study. You grant this because this is the best interest and welfare of the child. Di ba? Ayos ba yun? And the last part of the social case study report is the information of the social worker. So this provides the essential details about the professional who conducted the assessment, ensuring accountability and transparency again. So this section includes the social worker's signature, validating the authenticity of the report. The printed name of the social worker is included for clarity. Furthermore, the social worker's professional credentials, yung nilalagay po dyan, RSW, demonstrating his qualifications and expertise. The inclusion of the license number to verify the license status, no po? The expiry of your license, the date of the report was also stated, and finally the social worker's contact information, how to facilitate the communication. So sample, yan po yung akin. After nung aking recommendation, yan na po yung dulo, no? February. Kung nakita nyo po doon, anong date ako nag-start doon? February 3 ba yon? Yung una. So February 3, date started. Ito po yung dulo. February 25, 2025 in Angeles City, Philippines. Prepared by my name, Jeffran P. Olingay, RSW, MSSW, license number 0024604, valid until June 2026. So alam nyo na po yung birthday ko next month, baka naman. Ito po yung address ko, sasabihin ko sa inyo. Court Social Welfare Officer, OCC Regional Trial Court of Angeles City. Okay, so meron din po tayong mga tinatawag na appendices or appendix. Hindi po yan yung tinatanggal kapag masakit na at emergency na operation yan. Hindi po yun yung appendix na pinag-uusapan natin. Ang sinabi po na pinag-uusapan po nating appendix ay ito yung mga repository or lalagyan ng mga supporting documents na pwede nyo pong ilagay. Pwede nyo attachan yan ng psychological evaluation, medical report, at other materials. As needed lang naman po kung ilalagay ito. Okay? So tapos na po tayo sa social case study report. May tanong po ba kayo? No? I think, ayusin ko to, no? Kasi I will put the intervention section kasi merong section sa case study. Pero usually kasi sa amin sa court, hindi namin siya ginagawa. Pero there are forensic social workers like courts, social workers in the centers, nilalagyan nila ng intervention plan. So that's a learning for me and I will revise this section next time. Okay, next po is the progress report. No? So ito po yung isang madalas din nating ginagawa report. No? This is crucial and this is a systematic record on the client's development and the effectiveness of intervention that we give to them. No? So this will highlight the well-being across the different domains according to Sheffer and Horesi 2015. So importante po ito. For forensic social workers, particularly engaged in case management, monitoring, and aftercare services, this is an indispensable tool, the progress report. Dapat merong ganito. Okay? Key elements of progress report. As this report typically generated quarterly, 3 months, every 3 months ang progress report. This guide aims to provide clear understanding of the key elements necessary for comprehensive and impactful documentation. Of course, nandyan po ang ating mga preliminary information. Pero hindi na ganun kadami yan tulad ng sa case study. So usually brief na lang po ang preliminary information. Full name, geographic detail, case number, file number, address, no? Initial contact, kailan ito, no? Next is the period covered. So kailan ba ito nasasakop, no? January 1, 2024 to March 31, 2024 para makita yung time frame at ano yung ng reported observation and intervention. Next po is the developmental highlights. So kung ang tingin po ay per person, usually all developmental domains, no? So ina-apply naman, ako naman personal po ito, ina-apply ko naman sa progress report yung biopsychosocial-spiritual domains, no? Na dapat makita ito, may progreso siya sa lahat ng kanyang aspeto. O, di ba ang galing? Nakakasunod po kayo, no? Kasi parang feeling ko mahirap i-apply ang ecological. Dahil ito ay client-based naman. Sa loob niya ito mismo, internal ito, no? Um, yung biopsychosocial-spiritual framework ang ginamit ko po dito. I don't know paano po mag-frame yung iba. Pero this is how we do it in the centers and dito rin po sa court, no? First aspect is the physical aspect. So, pagbata po yan, yung growth patterns, motor's development of motor skills, medical intervention, kung nagkasakit, kung nadala sa ospital, no? So, ano po yung pwede niyang maging development in terms of physical activities and engagement niya sa physical activities at ano nang naging kulay niya, pumuti na ba siya. The client become whiter in this report. Pumuti, whiter daw, no? May ganung gumawa na OJT, no? The client become whiter. So ano to, si Whitey? Nung nasa center pa ako. The client become whiter daw, sabi nung OJT. Okay. Or adherence to dietary challenges. For example, it might be noted that the client's weight has remained stable. Increased participation in physical therapy has resulted observed improvements on gross motor skills. Yan. So next po is intellectual aspect, no? The progress in cognitive development and learning capability. So pwedeng yung kanya pong pag-aaral or skills development, no? Diyan po yan nilalagay, ano pong naging status niya sa kanyang pag-aaral. So for instance, the client demonstrated improved reading comprehension. The participation in tutoring sessions has positively impacted his academic performance. So any comments din ng teacher, pwede pong ilagay dyan. Next is psychological aspect. So ito naman po yung emotional state, the overall mental health status niya, no? This section provides insight on the client's inner world, no? Ano po yung emotional landscape niya, ano ba yung mga therapeutic sessions, counseling sessions, therapy sessions, ano po yung kanyang development and coping strategies pag nakaka-encounter siya ng mga challenges. So pwede pong ganito yan. For example, the client reports decreased anxiety levels and demonstrates improved ability to utilize coping mechanisms during stressful situations. So magiging specific na lang po kayo pag in-apply yan sa real case. Next is the social and behavioral aspect. So paano naman siya makapag-interact, no? Mga relationships and interactions and overall behavior niya, no? So ano po yung kanyang mga behavioral modification program in social skills training. It might be observed that the clients exhibits improved social interaction with his peers, reduced aggressive outbursts is observed. Next po is ang spiritual and moral aspects, no? So pwede po itong sa values, spiritual belief, moral development, yung pag-attend niya po sa mga religious and spiritual activities, and different contemplative practices, yung devotions, ganyan, to contribute this spiritual growth, no? And the next po niyan is pagkakaroon ng isang brief assessment na lamang, no? Hindi na pwede nang i-apply si McMahon pa rin, pero pag dito po sa progress report, brief assessment lang, no? Kung ano po yung naging impact o ano po yung naging progress ng client, no? Pwedeng strength and weaknesses lang to diretso, no? The client has made a significant progress to social and emotional development. Continued support is recommended to maintain this progress. So something ganun lang siya, mabilis lang, no? Next is the recommendation, no? Kung continue with the current therapy session, increase focus on developing independent living skills, schedule follow-up medical appointment. So, kumbaga yung further actions required, no? Okay, so may prognosis pa rin yan, pero short na lang po yung prognosis niya. And the social worker's information. Lastly, ang feedback report. So, ang feedback report po ay madalas ginagamit to, no? Siguro po maraming beses po kayong gumawa ng mga feedback report, no? Is a structured communication used to provide information regarding observed behaviors, performance, or progress, aimed to facilitate learning and environment. So marami pong klase ng mga reports na ginagamit ito. Pwedeng itong gamitin to document the progress of the client, to adhere the court orders, to assess the effectiveness of the intervention, no? Or activities attended by the social worker and the client, such as court hearings, counseling sessions, case conference, home visits. Kumbaga para ma-document mo lang kung ano yung nangyari sa araw na yon, ang social worker pwede siyang mag-utilize ng feedback report mechanism. So this is essential to monitor the compliance and evaluate the impact of services. And this provides an evidence and evidence-based recommendation to the court. So pwedeng nag-feedback ka, no? So dito sa feedback information, may preliminary information din siya, no? Name, feedback session, kung nag-session kayo, purpose of feedback, location and setting, may case number, ganyan, kung nag-hearing yung bata, ano yung saan, kailan, at anong pangalan ng bata at sino mga nandun. Usually preliminary information. After po niyan, yung highlights ng nangyari. No? Ano ba yung mga nangyari doon? No? Ano ba yung mga observed behavior and events doon? So usually organized po yan chronologically to provide clear sequence of occurrences. So after the highlights is, halimbawa po, ganito, no? For example, in a court hearing, Mr. Santos demonstrated appropriate courtroom etiquette. Directly responses, yet become defensive when confronted with evidence. During a home supervision visit, Mr. Santos' clean living space and curfew adherence were noted positively, but his inability to provide proof of community service attendance was concerned. So, simpleng ganun lang. In a co-parenting counseling session, Mr. Santos effectively communicated his concerns but struggled with active listening. During multidisciplinary team meeting, Mr. Santos' attendance was consistent, but he did not complete his assigned homework. Okay. So, assessment part. So, parang ito na yung pinaka masasabi mo din, is offering a balanced evaluation. This is concise and just simple. Mr. Santos' defensive reaction in court is assessed indicating potential difficulty in accepting responsibility which could negatively impact his probation, compliance, and so on and so forth. No? Mga types of assessment po yan. And then, recommendation ulit. No? So, ano yung masasabi natin para ma-develop po pa yung client, like specific and actionable step. And after that, again, is the social worker's information. So, yan po yung ating 3 major reports na ginagawa sa social work. So, this emphasize the skillful report writing is fundamental to the integrity and efficacy of forensic report. So, by integrating this knowledge, upholding ethical principles, and employing these communication skills, practitioners can craft document profoundly influence legal outcome and equitable situation. Continuously honing this report writing abilities is paramount for us, for social workers, to ensure expertise and effectively informed judicial process that contributes to just resolution of individual families and communities. So our discussion questions for tonight: What is one major ethical challenge of a forensic social worker in the Philippines might face when writing a report for child court case, and how could they best address it? Sa palagay niyo po, ano po yung isang major ethical challenges pag nagsusulat tayo ng case ng bata o child court case? Palagay po nyo, ano po yung major ethical challenge? Okay? Sa palagay ko po, ang sa akin na-encounter ko dyan, yung parental alienation, no? Na sisiraan po yung another parent sa isang parent, no? Talagang ang pangit na nung outlook ng bata doon sa another parent dahil sa mga negative information na finifeed ng other parent. Second is yung pag yung bata po ay naturuan na, no? Ang hirap i-extract ng information at pabulaanan din yung sinasabi ng bata. Okay. Ayan, para po sa akin yan po yung mga challenging sa mga child court case, no? Tapos pag traumatize po yung bata, mahirap interviewin, no? Marami kang mga gagawing mga mekanismo at gagawing pakulo para lang mapalawas mo yung impormasyon. No? Meron po akong kaibigan dati, social worker siya sa center. Ito pong bata nila sa center ay hindi talaga nagkukwento, babae. Alam niyo po, sinulat niya Dahil di siya nagkukwento, ang hirap niyang gawa ng case study. Ang ginawa po ng bata, sinulat niya yung nangyari sa kanya, pabaliktad yung mga letra. Baliktad na yung letra, baliktad niya pa salita sinulat. Yung bata. At para ikwento niya yung nangyari sa kanya. So, nag-decode pa si social worker. No? If a forensic report is to make a real impact on a judge, which section? Opo, mahirap po yan. Kaya po akong gagawin ko pag alam kong ganyan, umaalis ako sa opisina eh. Hindi nila ako nakikita. No? Pag may threat naman po, pa-blatter nyo lang. At saka, pag totoo naman gagawin sa'yo yun, tatandaan nyo po lagi. Pag gusto ka na talagang patayin at hindi ka nang pagbabantaan eh. Abangan ka na agad sa labas. Pero pag pinagbantaan ka pa talaga, hindi naman yun gagawin. Banta lang yun. Pag gusto ka ng tuluyan, tutuluyan ka lang. Pag pinagbantaan po kayo, automatic nananakot lang. Huwag mo nang basahin ang buo. Pag nagbanta, nakita mo na, threat na yan, death threat na yan, delete mo agad. Huwag mo nang basahin kasi mas stress ka. Hindi baling isipin mo lagi kung anong nakasulat doon. Ako lang naman, kasi one time na po ako naka-receive niyan eh. Ilang beses na rin pala. Pero imbis na basahin mo at mas stress ka, nung binasa mo at matatakot ka, pag alam mo ng threat yan, delete mo agad. Di baling mag-isip ka kung anong laman nun. Hindi ko alam para sa akin effective yun eh. Mas gusto ko nang isipin na kung hindi ko alam kung anong laman nun, kaysa isipin ko yung nakasulat doon. Di ba? Ano palagay nyo? Kunwari, dinetreat kayo. Anong mas mabuti kung kayo po tatanungin ko? Iisipin mo? Dinilit mo agad? Iisipin mo kung anong nakasulat doon? O iisipin mo at nabasa mo yung laman nun? Matatakot ka sa laman nun. Ha? Di ba? Yun yung sinasabi nating there are things that better na hindi mo na lang alam at di mo na lang nalaman at di mo na lang narinig. There are things that so panahon ni Sir Mac, basahin mo para papagandaan. Oo, pwede sir, o walang problema. Pero ako kasi sa akin, hindi ko na babasahin. Kasi mas stress lang ako eh, di ba? Iisipin mo lang lagi, di ba? So, ito sabagay, iba-iba tayo. Pero ako, just to share, ganun ko siya, ganun ko minamanage yan. Para di ko na lang alam. Di ba? Ngayon, kung matapang-tapang po kayo, yun sabi ni ma'am, pagbanta mo rin. Di ba? Subukan mo lang. Pag ako namatay, sabihin nyo, mamamatay din si ganyan. Patayin nyo si ganito, patayin nyo si ganyan. Ganon? Parang may pinagmanahan ka dyan, Ma'am Margie Baka mag-Facebook live ka din sa Zoom Okay, sige. So, forensic report, ayan. Okay. So, palagay nyo po, ano po ang may real impact sa isang judge doon sa ating forensic report? Ano po sa palagay nyo section doon sa case study ang talagang gagawa ng real impact? Assessment or recommendation? Ayan. Okay. Assessment statement ba o recommendation? And lastly, what is the hardest part about writing an assessment complex personal story? Like trauma or family issues in a formal and objective way or a court report. Sa palagay niyo po, ano po yung mahirap na part sa pagsusulat ng personal story ng client? Ako po, mahirap na part dyan sa akin. Kapag yung client, yung story ng client, alam kong detrimental sa case niya. Ano? Mahirap na part sa akin yun. Pag yung personal story niya, alam kong detrimental sa part niya yun. So, pag story ng client na nakaka-relate ka, totoo yan, Ma'am Job. No? Mahirap siyang isulat. Okay, so hindi ko na po kayo tatanong isa-isa dyan kayo na pong bahala. Pero yan yung ating mga discussion questions, no? And this is our second to the last discussion, ano? I'm really happy po to discuss this with you because I am also learning and I am also my module is also improving because I teach this to you. So last year ko po ito naturo. So nung ni-review ko ulit, nung tinuro ko ulit, namomodify ko at nai-improve ko pa po itong aking module dahil po sa inyo. So salamat din po sa inyo. And I am really happy to share with you, and sooner or later I'm really happy to see you in Manila Hotel taking your oath, no? And I'm happy na nakapag-ambag po ako ng isang opening, closing statement. Oo, kasi last lesson second to the last lesson na natin. Ano na tayo? Pre-termination stage. Preparing the group to end. Okay. So, ayan po, no? Second to the last natin. Last lesson na natin next week. Mabilis na lang po ito kasi practical tips on how to testify in court ito eh. No? So, parang paano mag-testify sa court? Ano yung mga dapat nating dandaan pag tayo ay haharap sa korte as expert witness? Yan. Yun po yung next lesson. Di ba? Tapos na tayo. At masaya ako natapos ko po kahit minsan may mga berya tayo. So, any questions po so far? So far? As in far, 8 o'clock na. Sige po, maraming salamat po sa inyong participation, no? Sa inyong pagsama